Hi and welcome back to Cut the Craggle. Today we're going to be taking a look at my custom LEGO Evil Dead collectible minifigure series. In case you somehow don't know, Evil Dead is a horror comedy franchise created by director Sam Raimi. The series revolves around the Necronomicon Ex-Mortis, an ancient Sumerian text. Bound in human flesh and inked in blood, the book can be used to summon demons and evil spirits back into the land of the living. The only thing standing in their way is Ash Williams, a reluctant hero bristling with one-liners.
This is my Boomstick!
And a chin that could take your eye out. Spawning 5 feature movies, a television series, numerous spin-off comics and video games, and even an off-Broadway stage musical, Evil Dead is renowned as a ferocious funhouse of the macabre and a gorily grotesque, and it's one of my absolute favourite franchises of all time. This minifigure series originally began life when I started creating physical custom minifigures inspired by some of the characters from Evil Dead. If you like the look of the minifigs in this video, be sure to head over to my website cutthecraggle.com, where you can buy and pre-order custom minifigs, including ones based on some of the designs you're about to see. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Right, let's take a look at the first in my custom LEGO Evil Dead collectible minifigure series. First up, we have, of course, the franchise's primary protagonist, Ashley J. Williams. I've actually already designed 3 different custom Ash minifigures, 2 based on the third movie, Army of Darkness, and 1 based on his appearance in Season 2 of the television series, so for this CMF series, I wanted to do something a little different, and decided to go back to the character's roots. This minifigure is based on Ash as he appears in the original 1981 film, The Evil Dead. Young Ashley hasn't yet evolved into the hardened Deadite slayer seen later in the series. He's a fluffy-haired, somewhat cowardly college student just hoping for a nice weekend away in the woods with his friends. This minifigure is based on the third act of the movie, as Ash finally finds the courage to fight back against the Evil Dead. By this point, you can see he's absolutely drenched in blood, all over his torso, arms, hips and legs, and he comes with a fire axe for an accessory. The first face print shows Ash with this angry expression, with blood already streaming down the sides of his face, while the second has him with a much more shocked or alarmed look, with even more blood. This is inspired by the final moments of the movie, after he has burned the Necronomicon and the Deadites decompose rapidly, smothering Ash in an increasingly gory onslaught. Next up, we have Ash's sister, Cheryl. I had originally intended on making a custom minifig based on how Cheryl appears in Evil Dead the video game, but I decided to base this instead on her live action appearance. As the very first Deadite in the entire Evil Dead franchise, this look is simply too iconic not to include. After being attacked by demonically possessed trees, Cheryl is already cut and bruised when the evil takes hold of her. You can see on her face print she has bandages on her forehead, as well as several bloody scratches across her face. When Cheryl transforms into a Deadite, her eyes turn completely white, and her skin quickly deteriorates into this grey colour. For an accessory, she comes with a brand new pencil piece I made myself, so you can recreate the moment where she gleefully stabs Linda in the ankle. Cheryl also has a second face print. This is from later on in the movie, as the evil has further decayed her body, her teeth have yellowed, and dark lacerations have split open her rotten skin. Gone is the manic grin from earlier, replaced now with this hideous snarl. Moving on to the 1987 sequel, Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn, we have Annie Noby. A budding archaeologist in her own right, Annie was the daughter of the professor who first unearthed the Necronomicon Ex-Mortis, and was tasked with recovering the missing pages buried deep within Castle Kandar. While this is primarily meant to represent the Annie from the movie, I did also look to the Evil Dead video game for inspiration. So like her in-game counterpart, Annie has mud splattered across the bottom right of her torso and all over her shoes, even the odd drop making its way onto her legs as well, as if she's been scrambling through the dirt trying to escape the evil forces. As well as this alarmed expression, she also comes with a second face print, with this much more determined look. And for an accessory, she even comes with a printed tile for one of the missing Necronomicon pages, this one depicting the prophecy of the hero from the sky. Ah, this looks like a nice wholesome fella. I sure hope nothing bad happens to him. Joining Annie, we have Ed Getley, an associate professor of archaeology and Annie's boyfriend. Not long after arriving at the cabin, Ed is possessed by the evil and turns into this particularly gnarly looking Deadite with elongated fingers and a mouth full of row upon row of rotten teeth. I did have an idea of creating each minifigure like this, so you could switch between both their regular human appearance and Deadite form, but Ed is really the only character whose skin tone doesn't change dramatically when possessed, so I was only able to make it work with him. This was a minifig I had wanted to design for a while, and it was pretty tricky to translate that Deadite face into the LEGO style, but I'm really pleased with how he turned out. At the conclusion of Evil Dead 2, Ash is transported back in time to the Middle Ages, where it quickly becomes clear that he himself is the prophesized hero from the sky. The main baddie of the third film, Army of Darkness, is a demonic doppelganger of Ash himself. Hell-bent on obtaining the Necronomicon to envelop the world in evil, he leads an army of the undead in a siege on Castle Kandar. My minifigure has a brand new mould, faithfully recreating his skull helmet in the LEGO style, and you can see his head is littered in detail for the open wound covering the bottom half of his face. Evil Ash actually started off as a near-perfect clone of our hero, but after being shot in the face, dismembered by a chainsaw, and buried in a shallow grave, he rematerialized in this much more gruesome approximation, held together by stitches and bits of old rope. He's got printing all over his torso, arms and legs for his battle-damaged armor, and one detail I'm particularly proud of are those little bitty minifigure skulls on the straps for his chest plate. Ready for battle, we have Mr. Fancy Pants himself, the Duke of Shale, Lord of the Northlands and leader of his peoples, Henry the Red. I had already made a minifigure inspired by Ash and his Kandarian armor from Army of Darkness a couple years back, which might seem the obvious choice to include here, but I wanted to feature as many different characters as possible from the franchise, and Henry the Red was a design I'd been meaning to finish for ages. Henry is primarily based on the movie. I did also look to the video game for reference. I did originally give him a mace piece for an accessory like he wields in the final battle of the film, but it just didn't look right. So instead, I opted to give him this customized sledgehammer piece, Henry's preferred weapon of choice in the game. It would be 21 long years before the franchise would be resurrected onto our screens once more. Titled simply Evil Dead, the 2013 entry in the series was originally labelled as a remake, but later confirmed by the director to be a sequel to the original trilogy. This next minifigure is based on the unlikely survivor of the film, Mia. In particular, this design is based on the final scene of the movie where it rains blood as the cabin burns down and Mia takes a chainsaw to the physical manifestation of evil known as the Abomination. This was one of the very first Evil Dead custom minifigures I made, and she remains one of my favourite designs I've ever created, so I just had to bring her back for the CMF series. Also representing the 2013 movie, we have Olivia. I had originally thought about including Mia's brother David, since he's seen as the movie's protagonist for the first 2 acts of the film, but I wanted to keep to the format of one survivor, one baddie for each live action entry. Like most of her victims, Olivia's skin tone changes when the evil possesses her, and I think LEGO's dark tan is a pretty good match. She's wearing a white vest, with the top stained with the orange bile Deadite Mia vomits all over her prior to her possession. You can see on her face print that she has already taken a shard of broken mirror to her mouth, creating this jagged hole across her left cheek. She also has a second face print showing off this feral scream, and she has the syringe piece for an accessory, just like when she stabs Eric repeatedly in the eye. While only appearing in a post-credits stinger for the 2013 movie, Bruce Campbell took centre stage once more for the follow-up television series, Ash vs Evil Dead. This minifigure is of course based on Ash's new friend and comrade in the fight against the undead, Pablo. In particular, his look from Season 2 when he has bonded with the Necronomicon Ex-Mortis. You can see he has printing all over his torso and arms featuring the demonic text of the Book of the Dead. I even managed to sneak in a subtle Cut the Craggle Easter egg with the letters CTK on his belly. He's got two different face prints. The first is this rather alarmed expression with more blood splatter all over his face, and then the second is this distinctively bloodless and much happier classic Pablo grin. Looking for answers on how to stop the evil once and for all, Ash makes the questionable choice to summon a minor demon with knowledge of hidden things. My minifigure uses a brand new moulded piece for Eligos's unique faceless head, with the skin pulled back to reveal a flayed mouth of sharp teeth with horns on either side of his jaw. And he has printing all over his torso, arms and hips, showing off his gaunt physique covered in open wounds. This was another tricky design to translate into Lego, and I did at times think maybe it would just be easier to do another possessed human from the series. But I really wanted to include Eligos, because he's such an iconic character from the TV series with such a unique appearance. And I'm really glad I stuck with it, because I think the finished minifigure turned out awesome. Originally intended for a streaming-only release, Evil Dead Rise was bumped up to screen in cinemas in 2023, introducing us to another new hero, Beth. Beth is trying to reconnect with her estranged sister, but the reunion is short-lived when her nephew discovers a third volume of the Book of the Dead.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Nobody said anything about 3 books.
This is another minifigure I originally designed for my store. It's based on Beth's appearance partway through the movie. You can see she's already covered in bloodstains, and she's got a few bandaged wounds. So this is meant to be after that infamous cheese grater scene. As well as this very concerned or scared expression, Beth has a second face print with a few more cuts and scrapes, with her teeth gritted in fierce determination. I did my best to translate her tattoos into Lego style, so you can see the red snake tattoo on her left leg is actually based on the actual Lego snake piece. And for an accessory, she comes with a brand new double-barreled shotgun. I think it was a surprise to no one watching that Ellie was the first to get possessed. Her demonic persona was plastered all over the marketing for the movie, arguably making her one of the most iconic Deadites to date. Her hairpiece was actually selected by my channel members in an exclusive poll on my Discord server. Remember, you too can have a say in future content and also get access to a heap of exclusive videos and live streams by becoming a channel member. Ellie's face print is based on the moment she erupts from the bathtub and lets out an ungodly scream. But her alternate expression is obviously inspired by the iconic shot where she smiles creepily while peering through the apartment door peephole. She's covered in arterial blood splatter from when she goes on an unfriendly neighbourhood massacre, and her feet have splashes of oily black stains. I've wanted to have a Deadite Ellie figure to go side by side with my Beth minifig for so long now, it actually feels like a bit of a relief to have finally completed her design. So there you have all 12 minifigures in my custom LEGO Evil Dead collectible minifigures series. If you like the look of these, be sure to check out my website cutthecrackle.com, where you can actually buy and pre-order physical custom minifigures inspired by these designs. Not all of the characters in this video are currently available, but depending on how well the ones listed sell, I might add more of them in the future. My favourites are probably Ash based on his appearance in the original Evil Dead, and of course, Eligos. Let me know which are your favourites in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know as soon as my next video hits. And if you've done all that, well, you might as well give the video a cheeky thumbs up too. I'll see you next time. Laters.